Welcome to this explainer. Right now, it feels like everyone is obsessing over chatbots writing poetry or summarizing long email threads, but the real revolution, it's happening quietly behind the scenes. We're seeing enterprise AI move way beyond simple chat assistants and fundamentally integrate right into the operating layer of organizations. We're talking about the actual lifeblood of a company here. Its institutional memory, daily workflows, complex contracts, permissions, high-stakes decisions, and ultimately, measurable value creation. We've got 6 key areas to hit today, moving from the current state of AI capabilities all the way to what we're calling the next AI battlefield. Let's just dive right into part 1. Part 1, the AI capability layer, and why we absolutely have to move beyond the chatbot. So the era of AI just being this super fast search engine or a clever conversationalist, yeah, that's over. The deeper ambition of AI, and you see this driven by all the top model builders, is to penetrate the actual layer where institutions function. Think about it. A chatbot can write a draft for you, sure, but an operating system, it remembers, it decides, it executes, it audits, and it scales. That is the true destination of enterprise AI. It's shifting from being a neat conversational tool to a core piece of structural infrastructure. But here's the catch. We've got a massive fragmentation problem on our hands. On one side, you have these unbelievable AI capabilities, foundation models, custom agents, tools that can code software in seconds. But on the other side, you have the messy, high-stakes reality of enterprise data. We're talking massive deal folders, complex legal exceptions, diligence notes, financial workflows, binding board decisions. Right now, these two worlds just do not speak the same language. It's kind of like hiring the smartest intern on the planet, but they don't have security clearance, they don't know who the boss is, and they literally can't open the filing cabinet. The model is incredibly smart, but it completely lacks enterprise context. Which brings us to part 2, the private equity test. This is the ultimate high-pressure environment. If you really want to see if an AI system holds water, you put it through the private equity ringer. In a PE firm, saving an analyst a couple of hours a week is basically irrelevant. They don't buy AI just to answer questions faster. They demand AI that actually helps convert their institutional memory into governed execution. And that has to happen across deals, internal teams, operating partners, portfolio companies, and eventual exits. Every single deployment has to connect to cold, hard results: cost reduction, faster due diligence, better risk visibility, stronger management discipline, and at the end of the day, a higher exit value. So the big question isn't whether an AI can spit out a summary of a 100-page legal doc. Honestly, any basic model does that today. The real question, the one that will literally determine if your company succeeds or fails with AI over the next decade, is whether it can safely reorganize your institutional memory into governed, reliable execution. Can it actually do the work without breaking the rules? And that leads us into part 3, the conversion bottleneck. Let's talk about why those amazing demos always seem to fail at scale. Here's the reality check. The real holdup with enterprise AI isn't a lack of awareness anymore. Executives get it, they know AI matters, and they're spending millions on it. So we have to ask ourselves, if these foundation models are so incredibly smart, why do these impressive, fluent prototypes constantly hit a wall and fail to become durable, scalable production systems? The answer is the conversion bottleneck. It's a wildly friction-filled chain. Think about how hard it is for raw model capability to become reliable, everyday work. First, the AI has to correctly access and actually understand the institutional memory. Then, it has to use that memory to formulate a reliable decision. That decision then has to seamlessly integrate into an existing workflow, leading to actual execution. That execution must produce a tangible, measurable outcome. And finally, that single success has to be packaged into a repeatable deployment across an entire portfolio. If that chain breaks anywhere, the whole thing falls apart. And man, this chain breaks all the time. These deployments stall out because of deep structural issues. An AI might give you a mathematically perfect answer, but what if it completely ignores company compliance? Or you run into unclear authority boundaries like, should a standard HR chatbot even have access to confidential M&A assumptions? Definitely not. You get hidden legal exposures, a massive gap between the controlled prototype and a chaotic production environment, and a total lack of auditability. This right here is the exact graveyard where the magic of the demo dies in the real world.
Okay, part 4, EP or the operating grinner.
To fix this massive bottleneck, we need some serious connective tissue. Enter the energetic paradigm, or EP. Think of it like this. Models provide the raw capability, the pure intelligence. Agents provide the hands to go out and execute tasks. But EP? EP provides the operating grammar.
It's this missing layer that gives the system a disciplined, structured way to connect raw capability with real enterprise transformation. It takes AI and turns it into controlled, auditable, and scalable action.
By organizing the whole shebang through a strong control architecture, EP takes a company's goals, their constraints, their authority structures, and seamlessly maps them into an actionable workflow. It acts as the ultimate bridge. And to be clear, it doesn't compete with the AI models. Actually, it strengthens the exact layer that model vendors desperately need when they try to move into serious, high-stakes enterprise territory. It turns scattered ability into a highly structured conversion system.
Moving to part 5, the 5 pillars of EP. Let's deconstruct how this actually works. Let's break down how EP systematically strengthens enterprise AI through its 5 core functions, because they are pretty fascinating. First up, control. EP keeps actions strictly inside valid boundaries. It enforces permissions, authority limits, escalation rules, and consequence awareness. Second is deduction. EP makes enterprise reasoning explicit. Instead of the AI just guessing or giving you a vague summary, it helps the system pinpoint the exact decision question, locate the truly authoritative materials, trace dependencies, and produce recommendations backed by hard evidence. Third is constraint discipline. This prevents what we call shallow success, where a system looks great on the surface, but secretly violates compliance, legal boundaries, or the messy reality of your daily workflow. Fourth is energy flow diagnosis. This is huge. It identifies where transformation is actually possible. It locates the friction, the delays, the true bottlenecks, and highlights the highest value entry points for AI. And finally, governed memory, which is so critical we need to zoom in on it for a second.
When AI connects to internal knowledge, the easiest mistake to make is treating the whole enterprise like one giant flat search archive. But let's be real, a speculative, kinda sarcastic Slack message from a colleague and a legally binding signed board decision do not have the same authority, right? You absolutely do not want an AI triggering $1 million software renewal based on an emoji reaction. EP fixes this. It turns enterprise knowledge from a flat archive into a structured, governed reservoir. It meticulously tags and distinguishes information by authority, recency, role relevance, and actual consequence. And look, when things inevitably go wrong in a deployment, because they will, EP acts as this incredibly sharp diagnostic tool. If an AI pilot fails to scale across different departments, engineers usually just blame the customization burden or model drift. But an EP diagnosis usually reveals that what looks like a tech weakness is actually a failure in organizational alignment. The core transferable structure of the workflow was never separated from the local company's weird quirks. EP identifies exactly why a pilot is stuck, so you can fix the root cause and actually scale it globally.
Finally, part 6, the next AI battlefield, governed transformation. If we zoom out and look at the broader strategic landscape, we're seeing this really powerful triad forming. You have OpenAI and other builders supplying the raw capability, the interfaces, the coding agents. Then you have private equity supplying the assets, the urgency, and massive cross-company distribution channels. And right in the middle sits EEP, providing that crucial operating grammar that actually links the raw tech with real business distribution and governed outcomes. In practice, this is an absolute game changer for scaling. EP allows a single successful use case, let's say an AI managing vendor contracts, to be instantly replicated across dozens of portfolio companies. It does this by separating the invariant structure, like the universal fact that contracts create obligations, from local variations, like a specific company's software stack or their totally unique legal team preferences. It adapts locally while keeping the core money-saving logic totally intact. Plus, for AI to be trusted as true infrastructure, it literally can't be a black box. Just ask yourself, if your AI made a critical financial decision today, could you pass an audit on it tomorrow? EP governance requires AI to be fully inspectable at all times. What exact materials did it use? What constraints were applied? What escalation rule got triggered? What uncertainty remained? By making every single dependency and logical step completely visible, EP ensures the system is structurally trustworthy. Without that level of transparency, enterprise AI is just a fun, risky toy. I want to leave you with this final thought to chew on. The next enterprise AI battlefield is not just about model intelligence anymore. It's about whether AI can successfully enter institutional memory, transform actual workflow, respect rigid constraints, produce measurable outcomes, and scale reliably across entire organizations. EP is the operating grammar that makes all of that possible. So ask yourself, are you just testing out smarter models right now, or are you building an intelligent operating system?
Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer. I really hope this completely reframes how you look at the future of enterprise AI.